Alright, hey guys, so now we're gonna go ahead and finish up this game as fast as possible here. So we have retrieve inputted text for the text fields, public var, username, string. Then we do the same thing with, you can copy and paste the string 2 more times and then just change the username to user noun and then user verb. Okay, and just make sure those are all strings. That's what we're going to use to capture what they input. Now we need to create a submit button. So that's private var submit and then data type that is button. This could actually be public if you want. Okay, now we need to create the constructor function, which it needs to be the same name as the class as well. So if you did name it main, make sure you do a capital M-A or capital M and then A-I-N and then open parentheses, close parentheses, and open the brackets. And we have call functions to initialize our game. So right here I have a create text function, create text input field, submit button, game text, and then we add an event listener, mouse event.click, and then have it initialize the onClick method. So that's something that we'll create this onClick method. We'll create all of these as well. Alright, and then as well as game text, and then we're adding this event listener to the submit button that we created up here. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go down a little bit. Now we need to create the actual static text boxes and assign them the properties. Okay, so what we're going to do is add the name to the stage so that our users know what to put in the box. And that is actually going to be this right here. One second. Okay, so what we're doing right now is we're going to add this name, noun, and then the verb past tense, which I need to change the positioning a little bit. We should get the point. Okay, so we add name underscore text, which is our variable, and then set the text or dot text, which is data typing it, telling it that the text is going to equal name. So this is what it will actually say. Set the x and y coordinates. This is the positioning right here, and then add child, and then in parentheses put name underscore text. So this adds it to the display list so that it will actually show up in the outputted movie. Then you do the same thing with noun, just noun underscore text dot text noun. Add the positioning with the x and y, add child. Do the same thing with verb. Alright, and then end the function. Okay, now next we need to increase or put in the input fields. So in the input fields here, and actually real quick, since the verb past tense was a little messed up, I can go ahead and put in the y coordinates to be, the x coordinates to be a little bit less, like 35. Make sure that you save it. Anytime you want to test a class, you have to save it so that it will do it. Okay, so got it a little bit better. Probably need this to be about 15. Save it again, test it. Alright, so we have our verb past tense all showing up there. Okay, so next function is the create input text fields, and that is right here, as you'll see. So now you use namebox.type. This is telling it what type of text field that it is, and this is actually input. So you set that equal to text field type dot input. Make sure input's in all capital letters, and then we set the width, the height, the background equals true. This is for visibility purposes, and then give it a border so that they're able to see that it's an input text field. Set the x and y for positioning, and then add child, name box. So this will add it to the stage. Okay, so then go ahead and do that with the second input and third input boxes for the nouns and the verbs. And as you can see, it's just verb box, and so on and so forth. These are previously created variables. Make sure that you add them to the display list so that it will be seen. And then we go on to create the game text that is outputted in the text field. So we just went through we just created these input text field boxes. Now we need to create the text field box that everything will be outputted to, which is this right here. Okay, so now go ahead and public function game text, open and close your brackets there, and then inside that game underscore text dot width, height, so just setting how big it is, and then the X and Y positioning, background true, border equals true, and then we'll add that to the stage using the add child method, adds it to the display list there. Now we need to create the submit button and another function here. So public function submit button, and submit equals new button. So we're telling it to create a new instance of the button, and then submit dot width equals 50, height 20, submit X and Y for positioning, and then submit dot label. Now you use dot label instead of dot text on buttons. That is something fairly important there. So, and then we add child. So we labeled it submit, and then now we're adding it to the display list. Now we need to declare what happens when the user clicks. So we're going to go ahead and create a new function, and that's the onClick. And if you remember, this is the function in the constructor function that gets called when someone actually clicks on the button. So public function onClick, and then in the parentheses you need to tell it that it is an event, mouse event. That tells it that this is in response to a mouse click or some type of mouse event. First step here is to convert the string elements to elements from the input area. So we're going to go ahead and grab our user noun, set it equal to the noun box dot text. So we're telling it to that user input, whatever they put in there, we're setting this variable, user noun, to the noun that they put in the input field. Next, we're doing the same thing with the verb, and then the same thing with the name box. Then we need to create a sentence array for the game output text. So we're creating a couple of sentences here, and we already created the base for the array. Now we're adding elements to the array, and we're doing that using the variable name for the array, which is sentence, and then square braces with numbers in them, and these numbers are going to represent the index. So you have to put this in so that it knows that this will be the index 0, this will be the next thing in the array, the next thing, and the next thing, and then you set that equal to, I'm going to go a little bit slower because this is pretty important, parentheses, space, and then parentheses so that it will add a space, and then add the user verb, so whatever they put in, and then add, so plus, this is concatenating a string, by the way, this is how you do it, and then quotations again, so this is saying that it's going to input a string here, and then another space so that it puts a space after this verb, and then the monkey to the space, and then quotes again, and then concatenate that with the user noun. And then what I did was I copied this and pasted it a couple of times, changed this to 1, 2, and then 3, and then changed the word monkey to different names, so penguin, elephant, and panda. The reason I did that is because it's real quick. You can add as many sentences as you want. Then you need to add sentence to the game text box for the users to see it. How you do that is game underscore text dot text equals username plus sentence, and then in square brackets you're telling it to select the array from the math floor, and then parentheses math.random times the sentence length. What this is allowing it to do is select, it's using a a random array here. So it's picking a random one of these sentences using the math class. And you're multiplying it times the sentence length, which means the number of sentences in the array, so that we can get a random one based on the number of arrays that are currently created. And then I have it trace the sentence as well. And I'll finish up with another quick video. It'll probably only be 2 minutes to cover the rest of this game. Thanks, guys.